Listen to this. They're telling on themselves again. See, this is what happens. This is what happens, folks, when you're dealing with entities now. And I'm telling you right now, this is the most greedy environment you're going to see as far as governments around the world. This is the greediest you're going to see them for a long time. And so because of that, they're telling on themselves because they're so giddy about what they're going to do, what they want to do, and the certainty of what's going to happen. They can't keep their mouths shut. That happens a lot of times. So you got to listen closely. Now, and I told people this. Didn't I say they want to maximize what they're going to get out of XRP? Didn't I say that? Now they're telling you directly. This is what they said. So this is coming from directly from the U.S. Treasury. You tell me what they mean by this. You tell me what they mean. It says here, U.S. Treasury will work to maximize the value of XRP. What? Please tell me what you think. What's your analysis of such a thing? How do they maximize the value of XRP? And in your opinion, what's the max value of XRP? This is not a game. It's getting serious. They're telling. Sorry, I'm a little excited. I get a little fired up when stuff like this happens. This is huge. Huge. Remember when people used to say XRP is chosen? You mean to tell me they were wrong? Were they wrong? It is chosen. And whoever else is in that digital stockpile. This is not a bad thing. So what are the possibilities of what can occur for them to maximize XRP? One, they hold it a little bit longer. Sure, they're going to sell it. It doesn't matter. It's going to be rinse and repeat. So they're always going to buy some more, sell some, buy some more, sell some. You know how this goes. How much do they buy? One, we don't know. How long do they hold it for before they sell? We don't know. If they hold it for any length of time, it's going to be significant. Period. In my humble opinion, if you think something else, let us know. It's going to be significant. So that's a few variables right there. Another way that they can maximize, that I believe they're going to use to maximize XRP, is utilization. Ooh-wee, don't let me get too excited. You know why? Because that will result if they push for the utilization of these services. Because of the companies. They know the companies. Piece it all together. All the pieces are right there to the puzzle. Why do you think Ripple was getting close with the White House? Why do you think Charles Hoskinson got close with Ripple and Charles Hoskinson and Cardano are talking about they want to be the security layer of all of crypto? They have close political ties. All these big bank coin companies have these close political ties, or they're close with each other, saying they want to work with each other. All these top companies. The U.S. Treasury, the governments around the world can pump that XRP price. We're going to focus on the U.S., all right? So there's no debating because that's what they're saying they want to do. But I know the rest of the world is going to follow. They're not going to let the U.S. have something to themselves. They're not going to let the U.S. get a leg up on them. That's not going to happen. Same way it happens with Bitcoin, it's going to happen with everything else. You see how the U.S. is going to go full blast into Bitcoin. Now everybody else is going full blast into Bitcoin. They dabbled in it before. No, they're going to go heavy into it now. Same thing is going to happen with XRP and these other bank coins. It's just logical. They're showing you what they do. They're showing you the pathway. So utilization. They could push for the utilization of these services, especially because they want to promote the private industry. They want to bring jobs back. They got to bring these jobs back. And the DLT companies are saying what? Yeah, we want to bring the jobs back. We literally read articles with them saying that verbatim over the last 2 weeks. You saw them come out. You saw those articles. Come on. So under the guise of that, now they could, I'm not saying, I'm not an absolutist. They could push the services of these companies in different places, the utility of it in different ways. Also, once again, circling back around to transparency. These same governments out of nowhere, all of a sudden, all these governments around the globe want transparency. They're going to need it, especially dealing with the U.S. now, who now the U.S. is touchy with their money. They want to know where all this money is going everywhere. So traceability, transparency, you can only get that through DLT right now, through DLT. And later on, AI will help. So they could do that through their relationship with these companies. They can have private contracts if they want to, for sure. Now, if you have a bunch of companies, a bunch of banks, a bunch of governmental entities, maybe they use the XRPL, maybe they use RippleNet, whatever. Maybe they use Hedera, Chainlink, Solana, etc., Stellar, whatever. If you have a bunch of them consistently using these chains for anything, that's going to result in a bump in price. Not just because it's going to make the people more bullish, because it is. But people start hearing about it, and it's going to have to be reported, because now, all of a sudden, crypto's hot news. It's hot news now. Popular news. So the people are going to learn about it. They're going to get bullish. And the companies, like the predators that they are, will drool at the mouth once they see all that social media activity. They'll literally be drooling on their keyboards. Oh, the retail is involved. They want to exploit retail. So then that makes them chase retail. So now they get a little bit more heavily involved in the trading and holding of those assets. It boosts the price up a little bit more. Am I wrong? You stop me when I'm wrong. Tell me when I'm wrong. I'm not a know-it-all at all. I ask questions. And I like to learn, and I like to grow. I don't put a cap on myself, because I'm always willing to realize he who knows all knows he knows nothing. Who said that? So now we went through all of these variables. There's one more. I'm trying to remember what it was. There's one more. I can't remember what it is. My word. We went through like the two major categorizations of variables that I think could pop it up. But there's like a third one. And wow, it just slipped my mind. Maybe I'll remember later. But I'm telling you right now. So let's go back here. The need to maximize the value of crypto. Notably, the U.S. crypto portfolio will comprise, and then they go into stockpile of altcoins. How do they maximize the value of XRP? Then they have a lot of these other people are saying the same thing that I would think. Let me see if I can scroll down and get this for you. Okay. They asked a few different people, and they were saying that the U.S., oh, that's what it was. Now I remember. The U.S. is going to remove. Now, didn't I say this? Hasn't this been what I've been saying consistently? Other big money people are saying the U.S. is going to remove all barriers for the use of XRP, for the use of the XRPL. Just as an example, I know there's other DLTs and blockchains in the stockpile. Just use the XRP as an example, because that's what they're talking about here. They will remove all barriers, all barricades that was in front of the use of XRP and XRPL. And that's one way that they can maximize the price or value, as they say here, of XRP. I told you. We knew it. I could see it coming from a mile away. On this chessboard right now, I don't know if it's always going to be this way, the moves are becoming more apparent. It's like, for example, this is what it reminds me of. You remember way back a long time ago when Magnus Carlsen was just invincible when it came to chess. Remember that? All right. Then all of a sudden, what was the one guy figured him out? The one guy who beat him a bunch of times. Now you see Magnus every time that guy plays. He's like creeping over his shoulder trying to watch him play. It's like that. We've reached that point where this system that was in front of us, this Magnus Carlsen that was winning against crypto, has been toppled. We've defeated it, and now we're able to sort of command what's going on. I won't even say command, and I say that because the people have said, one, they don't like the legacy system, so the people control that, right? Two, the people said they don't want a retail CBDC in the U.S., and so the legacy system had to bend the knee. They had to capitulate on that. Yes. So the people won there. They controlled that as well. Do I have to keep going? I can keep showing examples. That's why I said we, the people, are controlling things right now, whether people like it or not, believe it or not. Some people just overly pessimistic. They don't want to believe that we have that power, but we do. So now we're using the power of our minds to witness these open moves that the governments and the big banks are making. And it's very transparent. We figured them out. Like that man did Magnus, we figured them out. We know what the next chess moves are going to be. Or at least we have a great idea of it. Now, listen, there's always an unknown variable. They could switch it up. Sure. No doubt about it. But what we're doing right now is just using some logic, some deductive reasoning, a little via negativa, to draw up an idea of what is to come, most likely to come. Make sense? All right, so I want to move on here. There's a lot of big stuff they're telling on themselves. Listen to these two articles here. These two articles tell you a lot about what's to come. Now, they're going to be speaking about Bitcoin. But remember, Bitcoin is just the archetype. Bitcoin is just the first. The same thing they're going to do with Bitcoin, they're going to do with everything else. You've seen it already. Bitcoin ETF, Ethereum ETF. Now they're working on XRP or Solana ETF. Everything else is going to walk in the footsteps of Bitcoin. So whatever they're saying about Bitcoin, I just keep it in my mind as there's a possibility that's going to happen for everything else as well. All the top utility coins. And if it does, we're talking about an absolute tsunami of value. That's not an exaggeration. We're talking trillions from B2B. We're talking trillions from interbank payments. We're talking trillions from RWA, tokenization of everything. How is that not a tsunami? It is. I mean, you could put any type of verbiage to it, nomenclature to it, whatever. But it describes it as something powerful coming to overwhelm the system. Not really overwhelm, but flood the system, max it out. Now, listen to this, folks. All right. I know it's exciting times. I know. You're saying, Mick, calm down, Mick. No, let me cook for a moment. Let me enjoy this moment. Us warriors, we need this. We need this shot of adrenaline that's happening right now in crypto. I'm trying to get this ad off the screen, folks. What is going on with the... They will not let me click this ad off. What's going on here? But this is what the headline says, since I can't scroll now. It says, Crypto czar David Sachs says U.S. government may accumulate more Bitcoin to add to strategic Bitcoin reserve. I told it. I said it. I said this was going to happen. I said they're going to gobble up more. It's just logical. This is the most greedy. In a long time, you're going to see the U.S. government's for stacking value. Okay, I know the prior governments have wasted money as well. They've used it wantonly as well. I know all of that. I'm talking about stacking value. This is what they want to do. They want to feast off of crypto. It's the time now. They're ready to flip the switch on crypto. So it's just logical they're going to get more Bitcoin because they want to make the maximum amount of value when they do start moving it. They can't hold it forever. Yes, they don't want it to be a negative to the citizens of the United States. I understand that. And then once again, the people demanded it. The people demanded it. And the people were outraged when they were held back, when the government last took a whole bunch of actions that held them back from their millions, well, their hundreds of thousands of dollars to up to millions, multi-millions of dollars that the people would have made if the government hadn't stepped on them the first time. So based on the people's demands, now we're here. They're going to maximize this Bitcoin. So I know they don't want to cause too much turbulence, but the fact of the matter is they are not going to hold Bitcoin forever, maybe for a long time. But at some point they want to sell it. They want to sell it. But wait, and they may do it a little at a time, but who knows? Things change, and sometimes quite meteorically. But I'll say this. They want, because of this, anything that they're holding, I'm telling you now, look at who's in charge. All of them across the board, I'm talking about. Look into their financials. Look into their thinking. They want these things to skyrocket. They want it to skyrocket. They want their new plaything. They want their new version of gold that could exceed gold if they push hard enough. Now, I'm not typically one to say that. I'll tell you that. Now, I don't believe gold will ever be exceeded in its safety. I love gold forever. But as far as being a moneymaker, Bitcoin is a moneymaker, folks. They know this. So now you have that. This is what the so-called crypto czar David Sachs is saying. They may get more Bitcoin, but wait a minute. Wait a minute. What does this say? Why are they all coming out at the same time, everyone? You think it's not getting hot in here? You think it's not getting serious? Listen, let me show you this other one here. This is why it pays to be a researcher, I'm telling you. Now, this article says Samson Mao says U.S. government will acquire more Bitcoin for strategic Bitcoin reserve to beat China's holdings. I told you the competition is going to push things. We talked about this like last week, and now these people are saying this. These countries want control over crypto. They want control over Bitcoin. They want control over XRP. So now, and this is exactly how I was phrasing it, there's this war building up, this crypto arms race of sorts. So one is going to acquire this much, then this one acquires that much. It's going back and forth. It's going to push that price up over time. Now, maybe right now you're not seeing the effects of it. Okay. Once again, keep in mind what happened to gold. If you're not one of the OGs of gold, you haven't been in gold for a long time, like some of us have, go look at the history of gold and how it got so high. 4 years ago, it wasn't this high. What happened then? Who's propping the price up of gold? The banks, the central banks. There's not much difference between the central banks and the governments because they're so intertwined. If that happens with Bitcoin, this is why I'm telling people, go research that history of gold. If that happens with Bitcoin, that price is going to go up dramatically. I don't know how high. I just know it's going to be massively higher than where it is now. And if it is, then what happens to all of the other cryptos? They will follow. So we have, let's take a tally because we have one more. So we have David Sachs saying that they're going to get more gold, the U.S. government. You have Samson Mao saying that they're going to get more, the U.S. government. All of this is in the last day, folks. Why now? Why all at the same time? What do they know? What did they hear on the phone or in a Zoom call that made them so confident that they all had to go running to the internet at the same time? One could have done it last week. One could have done it today. One could have done it next week. No, they all did it within the last day, the last 24 hours. There's a little bit more than 24 hours probably at this point. But in the last day and a half. Why? They know something. They know something. I know how this works. They know something. It's just like in the industries where the people know what's going to happen or where the energy is going to be in the music industry and the movie industry. They're plotting this out a year or two in advance, while the regular people don't know anything. It's the same way in the sports world. They know, folks, you are just learning about fights. They knew they wanted to do these fights and the probability that those fights were going to happen based on people's records and who did what in the amateurs or the lower ranks. They knew what was going to happen next year and the year after that. They're doing a guesstimation, an estimation, but they know what they want to do well in advance. While they're just telling you about it now. You think the fight just got made now. You think the fight was spontaneous because this guy knocked out that guy, but they knew it was a possibility that guy was going to knock out that guy or beat him on points. Unanimous decision. They know. I know. I've been in these circles before. You'll be surprised. The champions you see today, for example, we all knew they were going to be champions in the future. We knew them when they were champions at a lower level. We knew them. We were there in their fights, talking to them. The big money people had this all planned out. That's why they had such support when they were at a lower rank. But I'm just painting a picture here. If that happens in the entertainment industry, and I don't know if I painted a great picture at all. I don't know if I was quite eloquent in conveying that message. What do you think happens in the government when they have the best of the best people as analysts and researchers? They know what they want to do now. Like I said, there's no absolution in this. But my apologies. My nose hairs grow like overnight. You get older, you're going to know this, all right? Your nose hairs grow out and they start poking you all in your thing. And it's like, oh, man, my goodness. It's tickling you, it's poking you. And you got to do something, all right? Just how it is. So now back to this. So you have David Sachs, Samson Mal, you're probably saying to yourself, that's two people. Stop. Stop. It's two people. Then you have this guy, Anthony. Why all three of them in the last day and a half? Anthony Scaramucci predicts a lot more institutional buying of Bitcoin in coming months. Why are they all talking about this at the same time? You believe that there is an effect without a cause? That there is a cause without a because? The light comes on in the room. Does it come on by itself? No, somebody hit the switch. Somebody hit the switch. Make the sun rises in the morning. Nobody was the cause of that. Well, according to science, there's all types of neutrino and photonic energies and all types of catalysts going on within the sun that people can't see it at atomic, subatomic level. Then the sun is being sparked off consistently. Some people might take a more religious view of that. Either way, there's a cause is the point. There's always a cause. So Anthony Scaramucci now is predicting a lot more institutional buying. They know something. And it makes me question, folks. All right, bear with me. It makes me question. Is there a major catalyst we're not seeing? Now, maybe, and this is highly possible, very much possible, maybe they're just bullish off of the catalyst that we know of, because we've done some great research here. We have, you and I, we've done some great research for sure. And maybe that's just as more bullish. Maybe it's more bullish than we think, those known catalysts. However, there's the possibility that just maybe, and I'm searching, I'm keeping my eyes open. Maybe there's a catalyst that we're not seeing. That is possible. We're not know-it-alls. We're not, what's the phrase for that when you know everything? It's not, omnipotent is like a parallel to it or something like this. There's a correlation between omnipotence is omniscience. Whatever. We don't know everything. Apparently, I don't remember. I don't know the words right now. But I believe there's a possibility. There's something we're not seeing. And as a researcher, I'm so hungry to uncover it. I want to uncover all mysteries. I do. It's the greatest feeling when you find something that no one else has found. When you uncover a mystery, it's the greatest feeling in the world. It's better than a trophy. I don't know how better to explain it, but I feel like there's something we may not be seeing. Now, also the strange thing is they're talking this bullish. I'm not hearing anything behind the scenes. Everyone who's in the financial industry has people that reach out to them. I'm just going to let you know. They reach out and they tell you about the rumors that are being talked about in the offices and things like this and behind the scenes and these entities, etc. Right? And a lot of us came up with those people too, right? They work in the government, they work in the banks, etc. I'm not hearing anything. That's strange. Really, nothing. Let me tell you something, folks, and maybe I'm wrong and you could disagree with this. It reminds me of what hunters say being out in the forest. When the forest gets quiet, that's when you start really asking yourself some questions. You start getting a little bit more aware. I won't say concerned. You get a little bit more aware because the silence usually exists before something happens. Now, when it's hunting, obviously the forest goes quiet mostly when there's a big predator around. But I'm going to take predator. I'm just going to substitute or superimpose the word catalyst in place of predator. Whenever there's quiet behind the scenes, maybe it's just like that for me. Maybe that's just what I'm experiencing. I can acknowledge that. But when it gets quiet, that's when I start asking questions like, why is it so quiet? Why is there nothing, seemingly not much being discussed or going on behind the scenes? Then typically there's a lot being said. I don't know, folks. I think there's something big brewing, but I'm going to keep my eyes open for sure. Just in case there's a new mystery to uncover. And you let me know. I know some of you uncover many things. Let me know if you see anything. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.